The air was thick with the scent of rain, a scent that seemed to signal both an end and a beginning. As dusk settled over the small town of Maplewood, the sky churned ominously, painting the horizon a deep charcoal gray. In the Bennett household, nestled on the outskirts of town, Sarah was already lighting the oil lamps, anticipating the stormy night ahead. The modest home held a kind warmth, though its walls were thin and the furnishings sparse. It was a testament to resilience and the echoes of love, where laughter often compensated for the things they lacked. Tonight, however, the air inside was punctuated by the distant rumble of thunder and an unsettled unease that mirrored the churning sky outside. Sarah Bennett moved with purpose in the tiny kitchen, her hands steady as they prepared a stew from last week's leftovers, a sort of thrifty ingenuity she had long mastered. Her husband, Mark, and their two children, Emma and Jake, were in the adjoining room, playing a card game that drew giggles and cheers, providing a sweet melody to the storm's crescendo. Mark's voice carried over. "Sarah, what's the prize this time?" "Winner chooses dessert, right?" With a small smile curving her lips, Sarah responded. "As long as dessert is strawberry jam on toast, you mean?" The children erupted into laughter, content with their small victories and simpler pleasures. Just then, as if on cue from the wind's wild command, came a pounding on the door, a sound alien to their humble abode so late into the evening. It echoed as a clarion call, causing all inside to freeze in momentary silence. Mark exchanged a look with Sarah, a fleeting expression of caution and curiosity. Townsfolk rarely ventured this far out, especially not with a storm imminent. It was a night for hearth and home, for those beautiful yet unnerving patterns of nature to be respected from afar. Straightening herself, Sarah approached the door. Her fingers curled around the handle, pausing to listen to an instinct deep within. The wind howled again, like a creature with its own strangely sentient desire, urging her. She opened the door with a sense of caution, but also with an unspoken welcome. And there he stood, a solitary figure, drenched and dripping beneath the relentless assault of rain. The dim glow of the porch light revealed a man about her age, though something about his eyes carried years more of experience and perhaps sorrow. His suit, though elegant, clung pitifully to his frame, testament to its unplanned soaking. Rain matted his hair to his forehead, but he appeared unfazed, holding himself with unwavering dignity. "Good evening," he began, his voice almost swallowed by the cascading rain. "My car broke down a mile or so back. Oh, I didn't mean to disturb, but the weather." Compassion outweighed Sarah's reservations. She had witnessed her share of little mercies, knowing that in a world so often harsh, a kind gesture meant everything. "Please, come in," she urged, stepping aside for him to enter. Mark was by her side instantly, assessing this stranger as any protective husband would. "You're welcome to stay till the storm passes. Name's Mark, and this is our home." "William," the man replied, nodding gratefully. Inside the warmth of the house, William straightened, shedding some of his waterlogged layers by the doorway. The children eyed him with the unfiltered curiosity only youth could sustain, whispering to each other in the realm of wild possibilities about who this mysterious visitor might be. "Sit, please. I'll find some dry clothes for you," Sarah offered, leading him to the hearth where the fire began its nightly dance. As the flames reflected in William's eyes, he sighed with visible relief. "Thank you truly. You've no idea how grateful I am." The family went about sharing their evening, and soon William was part of their cozy circle, enveloped by the aroma of stew and the gentle chaos of family life. Once clad in an old sweater of Mark's, William seemed to settle into their rhythm as best one could amid strangers. It didn't take long for the conversation to flow, the natural variety that threads itself through kindness and curiosity. William listened more than he spoke, revealing just enough about his business trip interrupted by perilous weather, his understated manner adding intrigue rather than suspicion. "So, what brings you to this neck of the woods?" Mark inquired casually. "I'm transitioning, exploring new ventures," William replied, a slight enigmatic smile playing at the corners of his mouth. If he noticed the curious looks exchanged by the children, he didn't let on. All the while, Sarah observed quietly, drawn inexplicably to the unspoken stories clouding William's dark eyes. She felt it, the weight of unaddressed concerns, the kind she often glimpsed in the mirror when the weight of everyday struggles seemed overwhelming. But deeper yet, she sensed in William a desire for something more, an unsettling companion she recognized from her own moments of introspection. When the storm outside reached its violent zenith, there was a tranquility inside the Bennett home, a space where gratitude overshadowed uncertainty. William slumped back in his seat after a hearty meal, eyes now reflecting the warmth they shared rather than the gloom he brought in from the storm. Remarkable family you've got, he mused suddenly, breaking the gentle lull. Life hasn't made it easy, Sarah replied, her voice filled with implied challenges overcome. But we find our way. And in that moment, a shared understanding passed between them. Two souls navigating the precarious dance between past struggles and elusive hope for the future. The storm's arrival, much like William's, opened a path to an unknown destination, and as the thunder cracked above, Sarah felt a shift in her vision of what they, as a family, could yet become. The air hung thick with the scent of earth and rain, a fragile intersection between the turbulence of the storm and the tranquil warmth inside the Bennett's humble abode. As William settled into his borrowed chair by the fire, the room seemed to exhale a collective sigh, the relief of transient safety found amidst chaos. The children, Emma and Jake, whispered animatedly, their imaginations sparking worlds of mystery about the stranger in their midst, weaving tales only innocence could conceive. "Do you have kids, Mr. William?" Emma, the elder, asked, her curiosity breaking the soft hum of the rain against window panes. A shadow flickered across William's face, brief yet telling. "I do," he said quietly, as momentarily settling on some distant memory. "A daughter about your age." Jake, ever eager to seek the truth in minutiae, leaned forward. "Does she live in a place like this?" William laughed, a sound that felt rusty from disuse yet genuine. "In some ways, yes. Though her home, well, it used to look different." His gaze wandered over the room, lingering on trifles now imbued with warmth from the family's presence. The frayed couch, the play-worn carpet, the patchwork of photos marking the passage of love and time. Each item, though ordinary, was animated by the life lived around them, a testament to simplicity's quiet radiance. Sarah, busying herself with clearing the remnants of their dinner, felt her heart pulse with empathy. "And are you seeing her soon?" she asked gently, a note of encouragement she hoped would bridge the silence. William hesitated, the words seeming to dislodge memories of grandeur now absent. "I'm trying," he replied, settling deeper into the folds of the old sweater. "Trying to put things right." It was a simple statement, yet Sarah recognized the weight it carried. How many times had she whispered those same words to herself, breathing life into small aspirations amid the demands of their everyday struggle? Now, too, they were at the edge of something new, the possibility of transformation, borne on the shoulders of the man before her. As the evening unfurled, time turned elastic, stretching to accommodate stories shared over candlelit shadows. William's tales unfolded like old maps, corners frayed, roads once clear now blurred. He spoke of business deals that spanned continents and opportunities seized, of the exhilaration and, eventually, the isolating solitude of success mismanaged by misplaced trust. "Everything I built," William confided, voice low and laden with regret, "was toppled by those I thought allies. The storm that night wasn't just in the skies but in my life, bringing everything to ground when I least expected." He paused, the firelight casting a fierce intensity over his features, then softened, tracing the lines of inevitability to where he sat now. Mark, having listened in intrigued silence, regarded him with a new understanding. "It's difficult to imagine all that power gone," he said finally, fastening the connection friend to friend, experience to empathy. "But it must be worth struggling anew for your daughter." A solemn nod confirmed Mark's suggestion, the reflective quiet underscoring William's resolve. "She's everything," William murmured, voice trembling with unguarded vulnerability. "But I have to show her that even fallen empires can rebuild stronger from the ruins." Sarah watched this dialogue unfold, a shared note of resilience threading through their words. In William, she glimpsed a reflection of her own unseen battles, a sentiment that kindled a new fire in her heart. This stranger wasn't merely a visitor waylaid by fate. He was a catalyst, igniting dormant dreams, whispering what might be possible if they, too, believed more fiercely in their narrative of redemption. The children, wearier now with bedtime calling, ambled reluctantly away, their giggles trailing like wistful echoes down the corridor. Emma's voice carried back before she vanished, playful and intent. "Good night, Mr. William. Tell us more stories tomorrow." A smile lingered on William's lips as he bid them good night. Their unguarded acceptance served as a balm for wounds lovingly concealed beneath adult veneers. Once the children's laughter folded into the hush of slumber, the adults continued to converse in amicable solitude. They spoke of dreams for the future, of the unyielding march towards light despite life's darkness. Each word shared that night was a testament to William's unforeseen arrival, a storm itself, birthing potential from the ashes of his past. As midnight brushed past, the storm outside began to surrender, its ferocity giving way to a gentle patter of rain, the world beyond their walls restored to a lulling calm. The conversation ebbed naturally, much like the skies now clearing to reveal possible paths for tomorrow. "Thank you," William said, breaking the newfound silence, his gratitude genuine, eyes bright with unshed tears that mingled gratitude with hope. "For this night, for your kindness in letting a stranger feel at home." Sarah met his gaze with her own steady assurance. "It isn't much, but it's what we have to offer. Sometimes a small kindness can realign stars." Her words, presented unassumingly, echoed with truth and possibility, embodying the very essence of hope heralded by both storm's end and new beginnings. The night deepened, carrying with it dreams born of unexpected connection, strands of lives now entwined, enriched by shared narratives, and the indomitable spirit born of humanity's resilience. In William, the family saw the potential of their own potential, limitless despite the confines of their current state. As the last logs collapsed into tindered embers, the Bennets retreated to their beds, their hearts lightened by a promising tomorrow woven from the tapestry of stories shared beneath the storm-tossed night. The storm left a bewitching stillness in its wake, the kind where nature seems to pause, holding its breath in quiet reverence. The Bennett household was much the same, paused in the aftermath of the night's revelations, suspended between the ordinary and the extraordinary, between the known and the infinite potential of what might come. William had departed by dawn, leaving behind a letter expressing gratitude deeper than mere words could capture, and a promise to return. It was a simple note, but what it symbolized was profound, a thread of hope woven into the tapestry of their lives. And so, the Bennets awoke to a day that felt curiously renewed, threads of gold glinting in their previously monochrome existence. In the weeks following, William's tale became a beacon for Sarah, igniting a long dormant drive. As she moved through her days, she found herself inexplicably buoyant, buoyed by the notion that one's circumstances didn't have to dictate one's destiny. Inspired, she began organizing small community gatherings, rallying neighbors to share resources and ideas for a better tomorrow. The garage, previously used as mere storage, transformed into a hub of activity. Here, Sarah held meetings, inviting locals to discuss ways to improve their collective life, whether it was pooling funds for community gardens or setting up barter systems to lessen dependency on cash. Each meeting was infused with the spirit of resilience she had observed in William, motivating others to embrace possibilities. Meanwhile, Mark, previously resigned to his tedious routine at the factory, now found himself contemplating possibility. Emboldened by William's story and Sarah's courage, he too began reaching out to coworkers. Together, they raised concerns about working conditions, and for the first time in years, Mark felt a sense of agency, as though his voice mattered. Their collective efforts soon reached the ears of the factory owners, leading to discussions that hinted at reforms. Months passed, with days unfolding in a rhythmic dance of sowing and reaping, change taking root in small but indelible ways. Then, as if conjured by the Bennets' growing conviction, William returned. His arrival was unannounced, yet his presence was immediately felt, like the first notes of a long-awaited symphony. The Bennets greeted him with warmth, their laughter resonant with the vibrant symphony of progress set in motion by his first visit. There was a mutual recognition of indivisible ties, bonds strengthened not by shared blood, but by shared hope and action. "Your home looks different," William observed, gaze alighting on the freshly painted walls and revived garden that surrounded their modest dwelling. "It's all been a community effort," Sarah replied, eyes bright with unspoken dreams realized. "Turns out when we chose to believe in better, others wanted to join in." William's smile was one of pride, a crooked line etched with gratitude and affirmation. "I'm honored to be part of this change," he said, looking between Sarah and Mark. "I've come to fulfill my promise." And fulfill it he did, by introducing them to opportunities previously beyond their reach. Through contacts and resources he amassed during his journey towards vindication, William facilitated educational workshops and skill-building sessions. He connected the community with programs designed to ignite entrepreneurial spirit and economic resilience. What unfolded was nothing short of transformative. The Bennets found themselves at the heart of a movement, their story dovetailing with many others, a tapestry of triumphs stitched from threads of redemption and unity. Emma and Jake, no longer weaving tales of mystery about the stranger, now animated their games with narratives of leadership and change, inspired by their ongoing reality. "Heroes aren't just in bedtime stories," Emma triumphantly declared to her playmates, evidence of childhood ideals made tangible. Weeks turned into months, and what began as a simple act of opening their door on a stormy night evolved into a saga of human connection and redemption, each chapter written with newfound resolve. The factory adopted improved conditions, communities thrived, and gardens bloomed abundantly in places where hope had once struggled for nourishment. Through it all, Sarah experienced a profound metamorphosis. Where once she was defined by circumstance, now she was a woman of influence. Her once quiet voice now resonated with authority, often leading initiatives to further strengthen community ties. Evenings in the Bennett household were filled with shared meals, not just among their family, but with neighbors too. Laughter mingled with conversations of tomorrow's endeavors, of visions that no longer felt distant but tactile and achievable. William became more than their ally. He was family, an integral part of their growing narrative. His daughter, reunited with her father in times of budding completion, often visited, joy and possibility sewn into her presence, sharing in the triumphs of a community reborn. And so, the Bennett story continued, gilded with a legacy of resilience and empowerment. It was a testament to the stranger who arrived one fateful night, bearing witness to how individual lives brush against each other, creating ripples that extend far beyond the imaginable. In the end, the Bennetts knew that joy was found in the shared work of building something greater than oneself. Their home, once echoing with longing, now resonated with the undeniable energy of hope actualized, a storm's quiet gift, whispering promises of what humanity can achieve through kindness, tenacity, and the undeterred belief that change is always possible.